Question 836. Would you rather sleep with someone on their first date or wait for 6 months?
On their first date or my first date?
Your first date with them. I know I said that wrong.
That was phrasing, Dave.
I know.
So, are you not on the date with them?
Yes.
Are they on a date with somebody else?
Not
necessarily.
Considering
what Dave does is he sends his partners out to find him a date, and they meet them, get to know them, then bring them back to his boudoir so that he can have a threesome.
To my what? To my what? To my boudoir.
Your boudoir.
And the thing as well, with that question, when he says their first date, he could be talking about their first date ever, which could be like at 13. So
Okay, let me clarify slightly here. The first date between you and them.
Oh. Okay. So
I wouldn't like to wait 6 months, but first date maybe not.
Hanging with John Wild. Hanging with John Wild says the first 5 minutes.
What's the question again? What's the whole question again? Please properly state.
Properly state. You think I can manage that now?
Yes.
Would you rather sleep with someone on the first date or wait for 6 months?
Oh, okay.
Aunt Jer says 6 months. Silent Shout Out says 3 years. Ike says it depends. Am I looking for a long-term thing or fun for however long it lasts? Ricardo says before the first date. I like his thinking.
Yeah,
that's the kind of you do the thing and then you
your intent.
Say again?
Sorry,
This is sort of you do the thing and then you do them and then you think, I suppose we should go on a date now.
Yes.
I don't like the choices either immediately or 3 months. Why not a week, 2 weeks?
6
All
months.
right, it's immediately or 6 months.
Yeah.
And the whole point is to not like the choice.
Something tolerable.
I mean, okay, if we've got to choose between the two, though, obviously, and I mean, I know a lot of people would say somewhere in between, but if we've got to choose between the two, I'd sooner wait 6 months. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with that on the first date at all.
Do you not think it gets things out of the way?
I've never been comfortable with like one night stands. Really, I'm not. I don't know. It's a trust issue with me, I suppose.
In all honesty, if I went out on a date with somebody and they were the two options they offered me, I'd say, how about neither?
But if you're picking this answer, what would you pick? Answer this question.
Oh, I said neither.
No, you've got to pick an answer.
I would pick neither.
Yeah, neither.
You can't have neither.
Neither. No, we can. We just did. You can't. Otherwise, that's rape, Dave.
Right. In which case, I'm assuming 6 months for both of you.
6 months.
Then we break. I find them and break up.
6 months seems completely reasonable to me.
There you go. Silent Shout Out says, but nowadays, even without a first date, sleep together.
Yeah, I'm. It takes me like a while to be comfortable being like physically intimate with someone. I need to know them for a while first, so I'm perfectly comfortable with 6 months.
Sammy says, I think we know my answer. I think Sammy's and then Mathpig says Sammy walks into the room naked, start of date. Hanging with John Wild says tomorrow is not guaranteed, so get your bam bam on like eating dessert first. Ricardo says I also dislike one night stands. Anything more than a couple of hours forces a brekkie as a first date. Yes.
I've never been comfortable with that at all. So,
I've never had a one night stand, but I have had sex on a first date that has went on to a relationship. Like,
so a one night stand that turned into.
No.
I don't know.
I have had one night stands, and they're just awful. I don't like them. I will never do one again ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't do them again. But when I was younger, I've done one night stands.
I've done them, never enjoyed them. Never.
How is it you're the most experienced in this area?
See, the whole point is that afterwards you want to, you have a one night stand with somebody. At the end of it, you maybe you fall asleep together that night, or maybe the other person gets up and goes home, or you get up and go home, or whatever. And there's nothing intimate about it afterwards. It's just like, all right, I was a piece of meat.
Well, and I
I don't get it.
After I found out that some girl actually slept with me for a fucking bet, I'm never doing that again. So.
See, I'd like that.
Really?
But that's
Wow.
me.
No, that's demoralizing. Dave, that's fucking demoralizing.
Now, I can understand a one night stand if it was like a friend and it was friends with benefits, sort of thing. But then it's not really a one night stand.
I'm not keen on the idea of it myself. It's
What, friends with benefits or one night stands?
one night stands. See,
How about friends with benefits?
Friends with benefits, I'm fine with. I'm also fine with other people doing one night stands. They're just not for me.
Fair enough.
They do not appeal to me. It's just kind of. Oh.
Sammy says, some of us are happy to be a piece of meat, Jeff and Jen.
If you are, you are. But I was not happy with that.
No, I totally get that.
It did not do me any good. So.
You
I
gotta do
agree.
what's right for you.
Being the object of a bet would be very, very dehumanizing. That's.
No,
And that would be funny because I've seen.
I would find it offensive to bet upon someone else. I wouldn't object to being the target.
Yeah, I've seen, because I know guys who tried to get me involved with the thing with like, put a fiver on like something that he won't sleep with, and I've never been comfortable even participating in something like that, even when I'm not the one in the fucking. It is just fucking degrading to the other person, really.
I can see it being fun if everybody involved is in on it.
I just don't want to know.
But the implication is that they're doing it for a bet because the person that the person that they're betting on you to sleep with is undesirable in the first place. That's the whole premise of the fucking thing.
Yeah,
I get you.
Brian Brainbug says, I've lost it because there are lots of people. I've been married to someone for 13 years that started out as a one-night stand. And Ilya says, I married my last one-night stand. We divorced 11 years later. And I reckon she can't blame the one-night stand for that. Right.
Yeah, but it's probably a good indicator about getting things off on the right foot in future, though, isn't it?
11 years is quite a good relationship.
Yeah, I'll let Ilya be the judge of that one, to be honest. So,
Yes.
An interesting follow-up question is, what is your longest period before first date and then having had sex?
Having sex before the first date, or you mean between the first date and having sex?
There's a lot of sex questions in this one.
The second one.
It's Dave's quiz, Badger.
They weren't meant to be.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The longest between... Does that include the fact that you got together with someone online? If that makes sense. Or between the first physical date and then having sex?
Nowadays, online dating and mutual masturbatory experiences are considered having a relationship and having sex. So, I guess it would count.
I don't know how to apply that to relationships I've had online.
Most of my activities are online. It's much more fun for me there. People don't make like weird eye contact and do body language things that they expect me to actually understand.
I mean, the first person that I met up with that I would class as a date, and the shortest time period would be about 35 minutes to drive back to where I lived. The longest is probably a couple of weeks. From the point at which I started having relationships that involve sex rather than before that.
You must go through a lot of loop with that bouncy ball, Dave.
Mathpick has a picture. Mathpick has a picture.
I've got quite a
wanna
few
see
pictures.
it. No, I don't.
What have
show
I
it.
got pictures
No,
of?
just-
Dave is lubing his bouncy ball, apparently.
Oh, I have many of them. Couple of them. I was just trying to narrow down the field, you know, because there's such a big variety and stuff.
Yeah,
Dave, can
Yeah.
you fold the ball like with balloon animals, and you can make it into like a fun shape?
it's already got a fun shape on it. That's why Dave likes it.
No, it doesn't. Shush. Right.
Moving
I
on.
have a go next.
Is it
Next
is it
question.
actually a space hopper that appears to only have one handle when you're sitting on it?
That's exactly what it is.
There are no handles at all.
Well, none that
Oh,
you can
steady
see
on.
at the moment.
Steady on. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.